Hello everyone. Welcome to this channel where we'll be exploring the awe-inspiring and sometimes terrifying power of nature. From the dawn of humanity, we've looked upon the natural world with a mixture of wonder and fear. Its beauty is undeniable, but so too is its capacity for destruction. By understanding these natural phenomena, we can better prepare ourselves for when they inevitably occur. This isn't about living in fear, but about facing the reality of our world with open eyes and a proactive spirit. Because when nature unleashes its fury, the best defense is a prepared mind. It's easy to feel detached from the power of nature when we're going about our daily lives. We build homes, cities, and entire civilizations, often forgetting that we are merely tenants on a planet that operates according to its own ancient rhythms. What begins as a gentle breeze can transform into a howling gale, a light rain into a raging torrent. These tales serve as a stark reminder that no matter how advanced we become, we must never underestimate the raw, untamed power of the natural world. It's not about cowering in the face of nature's might, but about appreciating its complexity and learning to coexist within its boundaries. The more we understand about these natural events, the better equipped we are to anticipate, mitigate, and recover from their impact. One of the most unnerving aspects of natural disasters is their inherent unpredictability. While we've made great strides in forecasting weather patterns and predicting seismic activity, there's still an element of uncertainty that we must accept. This unpredictability is part of what makes nature so awe-inspiring. However, accepting the unpredictable nature of these events doesn't mean resigning ourselves to helplessness. By embracing the unpredictable, we empower ourselves to respond effectively when disaster strikes. Throughout history, natural disasters have left an indelible mark on human civilization. From the eruption of Mount Vesuvius that buried Pompeii in ash to the Lisbon earthquake that shook 18th century Europe, these events have shaped our cultures, our beliefs, and our understanding of the world. By studying the past, we can learn from the mistakes and successes of those who came before us. Take, for example, the Great Galveston Hurricane of 1900, one of the deadliest natural disasters in U.S. history. The storm, which caught many residents off guard, devastated the city, claiming thousands of lives. By studying the history of havoc, we honor the memory of those who perished and equip ourselves with the knowledge to create a safer future. To truly understand and prepare for natural disasters, we need to delve into the science behind them. Hurricanes, for instance, are born from the heat energy of tropical oceans. Earthquakes, on the other hand, originate deep within the Earth's crust. When tectonic plates collide, grind against each other, or suddenly slip, they release tremendous amounts of energy in the form of seismic waves. Volcanic eruptions occur when molten rock, known as magma, rises to the Earth's surface. As the magma rises, it can cause a buildup of pressure, which is eventually released in an eruption. While we can't prevent natural disasters, we can take steps to minimize their impact and protect ourselves and our loved ones. Preparedness is not about living in fear, but about empowering ourselves with the knowledge and resources to respond effectively when the unexpected occurs. One of the most important aspects of preparedness is having a plan. This includes knowing the risks specific to your area, developing evacuation routes, and establishing a communication plan with family members. In addition to having a plan, it's important to stay informed. By working together, we can create a safety net that protects the most vulnerable among us and fosters a spirit of collective resilience. Shifting gears now, let's talk about hurricanes. Imagine this, a monstrous, swirling vortex of clouds, rain, and wind spanning hundreds of miles across. Hurricanes are the behemoths of the weather world, capable of unleashing unimaginable fury upon coastlines and islands. Born over the warm, tropical waters of the Atlantic and Eastern Pacific, these storms feed off the heat energy of the ocean. As the hurricane churns over the ocean, it gathers more and more strength, with wind speeds reaching upwards of 74 miles per hour. Hurricanes bring with them torrential rainfall, often dumping several inches, even feet of rain in a matter of hours. And if that wasn't enough, there's the storm surge. A wall of water pushed ashore by the hurricane's powerful winds. Now, you might think that the most dangerous part of a hurricane is a swirling vortex of wind and rain. And while that's certainly true, there's a deceptively calm center to these storms known as the eye. It might seem counterintuitive, but the eye of a hurricane is actually an area of relative calm, with light winds and clear skies. Surrounding the eye is the eye wall, a ring of towering thunderstorms where the most intense winds and heaviest rainfall occur. Once the eye passes over, the winds pick up again, this time blowing in the opposite direction with a vengeance. The storm is far from over. Moving on from the monstrous hurricanes, let's talk about another fearsome weather phenomenon, tornadoes. These are violently rotating columns of air that extend from a thunderstorm to the ground. Tornadoes are much smaller than hurricanes, but don't let their size fool you. They are incredibly powerful, with wind speeds that can exceed 300 miles per hour. The path of a tornado is often erratic, making them even more dangerous. So, let's say you find yourself in the path of a tornado. What do you do? The first rule is to seek shelter immediately. If you're in a sturdy building, get to the lowest level, preferably a basement or storm cellar. If you're in a mobile home, get out. Mobile homes, even those that are anchored down, offer very little protection from tornadoes. It's also important to have a plan in place before a tornado strikes. Now, let's shift our focus from the fury of hurricanes and tornadoes to the deceptive beauty of blizzards. Unlike the other storms we've discussed, blizzards aren't about torrential rainfall or scorching heat. They're about snow, ice, and bone-chilling cold. Blizzards are not just heavy snowfalls. They're characterized by strong winds, at least 35 miles per hour, and blowing snow that reduces visibility to less than a quarter of a mile for an extended period. These conditions can bring life to a standstill. One of the biggest dangers of blizzards is the whiteout. When the wind whips the snow around, it creates a disorienting effect, making it nearly impossible to see where you're going. This can be incredibly dangerous, especially if you're caught out in the open. If you find yourself driving in a blizzard, the most important thing is to slow down and increase your following distance. Turn on your headlights, even during the day, to increase your visibility to other drivers. If the visibility becomes too poor, pull over to the side of the road, well away from traffic, and wait for the storm to pass. If you're venturing out on foot during a blizzard, dress in layers of warm clothing, covering as much exposed skin as possible. Wear a hat, gloves, and a scarf to protect your head, hands, and face from frostbite. Let someone know your route and expected arrival time, and carry a fully charged cell phone in case of an emergency. While the snow and wind of a blizzard can be treacherous, it's the extreme cold that poses the biggest threat to human life. Prolonged exposure to freezing temperatures can lead to hypothermia, a dangerous condition in which your body loses heat faster than it can produce it. Symptoms of hypothermia include shivering, slurred speech, confusion, and loss of coordination. If you suspect someone is suffering from hypothermia, get them indoors immediately and seek medical attention. Remove any wet clothing and wrap them in warm blankets. It's important to stay warm and dry during a blizzard. If you must go outside, dress in layers and limit your exposure time. Avoid strenuous activities that can make you sweat, as this can lead to rapid heat loss. Drink plenty of fluids, as dehydration can also contribute to hypothermia. Just like with any other natural disaster, preparation is key when it comes to blizzards. Before winter sets in, make sure your home is properly insulated and that you have a working heating system. Stock up on essential supplies such as food, water, batteries, and first aid kits. Keep your car's gas tank full, and consider carrying a winter survival kit in your vehicle, including blankets, extra clothing, a flashlight, and a shovel. If you live in an area prone to power outages, consider investing in a generator. By taking these simple precautions, you can help ensure that you and your loved ones stay safe and warm when winter's fury strikes. Remember, preparation is not about living in fear, but about facing the challenges of nature with knowledge, resilience, and a healthy dose of common sense. From the dramatic fury of hurricanes and blizzards, we now turn our attention to earthquakes. Earthquakes shake us from beneath our feet, a reminder of the immense power within our planet. Then, without warning, the ground begins to tremble. It quickly escalates into a violent shaking, sending objects crashing to the floor. This is the terrifying reality of an earthquake. Earthquakes are caused by the movement of tectonic plates, releasing a tremendous amount of energy in the form of seismic waves. To understand earthquakes, we need to delve into the Earth's anatomy. Imagine the Earth's crust as a giant jigsaw puzzle, with each piece representing a tectonic plate. These plates constantly move, driven by heat from the Earth's core. Where these plates meet, we find fault lines. Fault lines are cracks where plates grind against each other. When pressure exceeds friction, plates slip, releasing energy as seismic waves. These waves cause the shaking we experience during an earthquake. The aftermath of a quake. The immediate impact of an earthquake can be devastating, but the aftermath brings its own hazards. Aftershocks are smaller quakes that follow the main event, causing further damage. Imagine surviving a major quake, only to face more shaking. Aftershocks can occur minutes, hours, or even years later. They may be weaker, but still dangerous to damaged structures. Underwater earthquakes can trigger tsunamis, giant waves caused by water displacement. If you see water receding dramatically, run to higher ground. Tsunamis can travel at 500 miles per hour and surge over 100 feet, causing catastrophic damage. Section 4. Building for resilience. Structural integrity in earthquake zones. Living in an earthquake-prone area requires a particular awareness of the risks and a commitment to building structures that can withstand seismic activity. While we can't prevent earthquakes, we can certainly design and construct buildings that are more resilient to their destructive forces. Imagine this. 2 buildings stand side by side, one built with traditional methods, the other incorporating earthquake-resistant design principles. An earthquake strikes and the ground shakes violently. The traditionally built building crumbles under the stress, while the earthquake-resistant building sways gently, absorbing the seismic energy and remaining standing. This is the power of building for resilience. Earthquake-resistant buildings are designed to withstand ground shaking and lateral forces, those that push the building sideways. This involves using strong, flexible materials, reinforcing walls and foundations, and incorporating features like base isolation systems that allow the building to move independently of the ground during an earthquake. In addition to structural integrity, it's crucial to secure heavy objects and furniture that could topple over during an earthquake. This includes bookcases, shelves, mirrors, and light fixtures. Having a plan in place for what to do during an earthquake, identifying safe spots within your home or workplace, and practicing earthquake drills can also significantly increase your chances of survival. Section 5. Sinkholes. The earth opens up. Sinkholes often form gradually, with little to no warning, until the ground suddenly gives way. Imagine driving when the asphalt beneath your car collapses, sending you plummeting into a gaping hole, or waking up to find a massive crater in your backyard. These are examples of the unexpected and often devastating impact of sinkholes. Section 6. Causes and warning signs. Recognizing the threat beneath your feet. Sinkholes can seem random, but certain factors increase their likelihood. Recognizing these factors helps mitigate risks. The primary cause is the dissolution of bedrock by acidic groundwater. Human activities like excessive groundwater pumping exacerbate this. Construction disrupts drainage, increasing sinkhole risks. Recognizing warning signs is crucial. Look for sagging ground, sticking doors, and cracks. Sagging ground indicates a developing void. Sticking doors and windows signal ground shifts. Cracks in structures indicate instability. Contact professionals if you notice these signs. Early detection can prevent catastrophic collapses. Volcanic eruptions, fury from the Earth's core. These fiery mountains remind us of the immense power deep within our planet's core. Suddenly, the ground trembles and a deep rumbling echoes. A plume of ash and smoke billows into the sky, followed by molten rock. This is the raw power of a volcanic eruption. Section 8. Pyroclastic flows and ash clouds. The devastating reach of volcanoes. Volcanic eruptions unleash hazards that devastate areas and impact the global climate. Pyroclastic flows and ash clouds are among the most dangerous phenomena. A wall of superheated gas, ash, and debris races down a volcano at up to 450 miles per hour. This pyroclastic flow incinerates everything in its path. Volcanic eruptions inject ash and gases into the atmosphere, creating far-reaching hazards. Volcanic ash can blanket areas, collapsing roofs, clogging engines, and posing respiratory hazards. Understanding these hazards and heeding evacuation orders are essential for safety. We've faced hurricanes, tornadoes, earthquakes, and volcanoes. Now let's turn our attention to a different kind of natural disaster. One that doesn't announce its arrival with a roar, but creeps in silently, often underestimated until it's too late. Heat waves. Imagine this. The sun beats down relentlessly, day after day, pushing temperatures to record highs. The air hangs heavy, thick with humidity, making each breath a struggle. Streets are deserted, shadows vanish under the intense glare, and the very asphalt seems to soften under the oppressive heat. This is the reality of a heat wave, a silent killer that can claim lives with alarming speed. Understanding the difference between heat exhaustion and heat stroke is crucial for knowing how to respond appropriately. Both are heat-related illnesses, but they differ in severity and require different courses of action. Heat exhaustion is the body's response to excessive loss of water and salt through sweating. It's often characterized by heavy sweating, pale, clammy skin, muscle cramps, tiredness or weakness, headache, dizziness or fainting, and nausea or vomiting. If you experience any of these symptoms, it's crucial to cool down immediately. Find a shaded or air-conditioned area, drink plenty of fluids, preferably water, or sports drinks that replenish electrolytes, and rest until you feel better. Heat stroke, on the other hand, is a life-threatening medical emergency that occurs when the body's temperature regulation system fails and its core temperature rises to dangerously high levels. Symptoms of heat stroke include high body temperature, hot, red, dry, or damp skin, rapid strong pulse, headache, dizziness, nausea, confusion, and loss of consciousness. If you suspect someone is suffering from heat stroke, call emergency services immediately. While waiting for medical help, move the person to a cooler place, loosen any tight clothing, and try to cool them down by any means possible, such as fanning them, applying cool, wet cloths to their skin, or giving them a cool bath or shower. Staying safe during a heat wave requires proactive measures to prevent heat-related illnesses and keep your body cool and hydrated. Here are some essential tips for beating the heat. Stay hydrated. Drink plenty of fluids throughout the day, even if you don't feel thirsty. Water is the best choice, but sports drinks can help replenish electrolytes lost through sweating. Avoid sugary drinks, as they can dehydrate you. Seek shade and air conditioning. Avoid strenuous activities during the hottest parts of the day, and if possible, spend time in air-conditioned environments, such as shopping malls, libraries, or movie theaters. If you must be outdoors, seek shade under trees or umbrellas. Dress appropriately. Wear loose-fitting, light-colored clothing made from breathable fabrics like cotton or linen. Light colors reflect heat, while loose-fitting clothing allows air to circulate. Protect yourself from the sun. Wear a wide-brimmed hat, sunglasses, and apply sunscreen with an SPF of 30 or higher to protect your skin from harmful UV rays. Never leave children or pets unattended in vehicles. The temperature inside a parked car can rise rapidly, even on a mild day, becoming deadly within minutes. Never leave children or pets unattended in vehicles, even for a short period. From the oppressive heat of heat waves, let's shift our focus to the swirling chaos of dust storms, a meteorological phenomenon that can transform a clear, sunny day into a scene of apocalyptic proportions. Imagine this. The wind picks up, whipping across the arid landscape, lifting dust and sand into the air. The sky darkens. The sun disappears behind a thick, swirling curtain of dust, and the air fills with a gritty, choking haze. This is the awe-inspiring, yet terrifying power of a dust storm. Dust storms are characterized by strong winds that lift large amounts of dust and sand from dry, barren surfaces such as deserts, dry lake beds, or plowed fields into the atmosphere, reducing visibility significantly and creating hazardous air quality. They can occur with little warning, engulfing entire regions in a matter of minutes. And these storms are most common in arid and semi-arid regions where loose soil and lack of vegetation make it easier for the wind to lift dust and sand particles into the air. They can range in size from relatively small, localized events to massive storms that span hundreds of miles and last for several days. While often used interchangeably, dust storms and sandstorms are distinct phenomena, differing primarily in the size of the particles they carry. Dust storms typically involve finer dust particles, while sandstorms, as their name suggests, are characterized by larger, heavier sand particles. Imagine this. You're caught in a sandstorm, the air thick with a swirling mass of sand particles that sting your skin like tiny needles. The wind howls around you, carrying a deafening roar, and visibility drops to mere feet. You're trapped in a blinding sandstorm. This is the raw power of nature's sand-blasting fury. Sandstorms occur when strong winds, often associated with thunderstorms or other atmospheric disturbances, blow over loose sand and soil, lifting and carrying sand particles through a process called saltation. As these sand particles collide with the ground and each other, they break into smaller fragments, creating a chain reaction that can sustain the storm for miles. The impact of sandstorms can be devastating, especially in arid and semi-arid regions where they are most common. The abrasive force of the sand can damage crops, erode soil, and sandblast buildings and infrastructure. The reduced visibility during a sandstorm can also disrupt transportation, causing road closures and flight cancellations. Whether you're facing a dust storm or a sandstorm, protecting yourself from the harmful effects of airborne particles is crucial. Here are some essential tips for weathering the storm. First, seek shelter immediately. If you're caught in a dust or sandstorm, the first and most important step is to find shelter immediately. If possible, get indoors, preferably in a building with sealed windows and doors to keep out dust and sand particles. Second, protect your eyes and respiratory system. If you must be outdoors during a dust or sandstorm, wear protective gear, such as a dust mask or respirator, to filter out harmful particles from the air. Wear goggles or wraparound sunglasses to protect your eyes from irritation and debris. Next, stay hydrated. Dust and sandstorms can dehydrate you quickly, so it's essential to drink plenty of fluids, even if you don't feel thirsty. If you're driving during a dust or sandstorm, drive cautiously. Reduce your speed, turn on your headlights, and increase your following distance. If visibility becomes too poor, pull over to the side of the road, well away from traffic, and wait for the storm to pass. Finally, stay informed. Pay attention to weather forecasts and warnings from local authorities about dust and sandstorm advisories. Section 7. Flooding. The inundating power of water. Floods can creep in gradually or surge with terrifying speed, leaving devastation in their wake. Streets transform into rivers, houses become islands, and entire communities find themselves submerged beneath the relentless deluge. Flooding is the most common and costly natural disaster in the United States, affecting millions of people each year. Section 8. Navigating the deluge. Flooding is a serious threat. Here are essential tips for navigating the deluge. Know your risk, prepare your home, and have an evacuation plan. If you live near water, you're at increased risk. Familiarize yourself with flood maps and evacuation plans. Elevate valuables and important documents. Consider flood-proofing your home. Know your evacuation route and have a communication plan. Heed evacuation orders and never drive through floodwaters. Turn around, don't drown. Section 1. Mudslides. When the earth turns fluid. We've explored a range of natural disasters, from the scorching heat of heat waves to the inundating power of floods. Now let's turn our attention to a phenomenon that combines the destructive forces of both earth and water: mudslides. Imagine this. Days of heavy rainfall have saturated the ground, weakening the soil's ability to hold together. Suddenly, the hillside gives way, and a torrent of mud, rocks, trees, and debris comes crashing down, engulfing everything in its path. This is the terrifying reality of a mudslide, a force of nature that can transform a seemingly stable landscape into a flowing river of destruction. Mudslides, also known as debris flows or mudflows, are a type of landslide characterized by a rapid downslope movement of a mixture of water, soil, rock, and other debris. They can occur with little warning, often triggered by heavy rainfall, rapid snowmelt, or volcanic eruptions. The sheer force of a mudslide can be devastating. Imagine a wall of mud, rocks, and debris, sometimes reaching heights of tens of feet, flowing downhill at speeds of up to 35 miles per hour or more. This powerful surge can sweep away homes, bury entire neighborhoods, and block roads and bridges, isolating communities and hindering rescue efforts. Section 2. Recognizing the warning signs. Understanding the triggers. Mudslides can seem unpredictable, but understanding their triggers helps mitigate risks. They occur in hilly areas with steep slopes, often triggered by intense rainfall or rapid snowmelt. Recognizing warning signs is crucial. Look for changes in water flow, ground movement, and unusual sounds. Take these signs seriously and have an evacuation plan if you live in a mudslide-prone area. Section 3. Hailstorms. Bombardment from the skies. From the earth-moving power of mudslides, let's turn our attention to a different kind of natural hazard, one that comes from above, hailstorms. While often associated with thunderstorms, hailstorms can unleash their own brand of havoc, transforming a summer afternoon into a barrage of icy projectiles. Imagine this. You're enjoying a warm summer day, and suddenly, the sky darkens, the wind picks up, and the familiar rumble of thunder echoes in the distance. But instead of raindrops, the clouds unleash a torrent of hailstones, ranging in size from small pebbles to large grapefruits, bombarding everything in their path with surprising force. Hail forms within thunderstorm clouds, specifically within the updraft, a strong current of rising air. Inside the cloud, tiny water droplets are lifted high into the atmosphere, where temperatures are well below freezing. These supercooled water droplets collide with dust particles or other ice crystals, freezing on contact and forming hailstones. The hailstones are then tossed up and down within the updraft, collecting more and more supercooled water droplets, which freeze and add layers to the growing hailstones. This process continues until the hailstones become too heavy for the updraft to support, at which point they fall to the ground as hail. Hailstorms can be a significant hazard to people, property, and agriculture. The impact of large hailstones can cause serious injuries, damage vehicles, break windows, and destroy crops. Seek shelter immediately. If you're caught in a hailstorm, the most important thing is to seek sturdy shelter immediately. Protect your vehicle. If you're driving during a hailstorm, try to find cover under a bridge, overpass, or inside a parking garage. Stay informed. Pay attention to weather forecasts and warnings from local authorities about severe thunderstorm warnings and hail potential. We face the fury of wind, water, and ice. But storms also bring with them a hidden danger, one that often goes unnoticed until it's too late. Electrical fires. While lightning strikes are the most dramatic display of electricity's power during a storm, it's the less obvious electrical surges and malfunctions that can spark devastating fires. Imagine this. A powerful thunderstorm rages outside, lightning flashing, thunder booming. Inside your home, everything seems normal until you notice the flickering lights, the smell of burning plastic, or the telltale crackling sound coming from an outlet. These are all potential signs of an electrical fire ignited by the storm's surge of electricity. Electrical fires are often caused by lightning strikes, which can generate immense electrical currents that can overload electrical systems, damage wiring, and ignite flammable materials. Even if lightning doesn't directly strike your home, nearby strikes can induce surges in electrical lines, leading to similar problems. But lightning isn't the only culprit. Strong winds can down power lines, creating a dangerous situation where live wires can come into contact with trees, vehicles, or even the ground, posing a serious electrocution risk and potentially sparking fires. Heavy rainfall can also infiltrate electrical systems, causing shorts and malfunctions that can lead to fires. Electrical fires during storms are a serious threat, but there are steps you can take to minimize the risks and protect yourself and your property. Here are some essential fire safety tips for weathering the storm. Install smoke detectors. Make sure your home is equipped with working smoke detectors on every level, inside each bedroom, and outside sleeping areas. Test them regularly and replace batteries at least once a year. Have a fire extinguisher. Keep a fire extinguisher on every level of your home, especially in the kitchen and near potential fire hazards like fireplaces and electrical panels. Learn how to use a fire extinguisher properly before an emergency strikes. Unplug electronics. During a storm, unplug electronic devices, appliances, and computers to protect them from damage caused by power surges. Consider using surge protectors for sensitive electronics. Avoid water. Never use electrical appliances or touch electrical outlets or switches if you are wet or standing in water. Water is an excellent conductor of electricity and can greatly increase the risk of electrocution. Stay away from downed power lines. Never approach or touch downed power lines. Assume that any downed power line is live and extremely dangerous. Report downed power lines to your local utility company immediately. From the hidden dangers of electrical fires, let's shift to wildfires. These infernos, fueled by dry conditions, strong winds, and human activity, threaten lives, homes, and ecosystems. Imagine a dry forest floor, parched by relentless sunshine. A spark from lightning or a cigarette ignites the dry underbrush. Fanned by wind, flames spread rapidly, transforming the forest into an inferno. Wildfires can consume everything, leaving devastation behind. They burn in forests, grasslands, and shrublands. Wildfires clear dead vegetation and promote new growth. Wildfires pose a significant threat to human life, property, and the environment. Protecting communities and ecosystems from the devastating impacts of wildfires requires a multifaceted approach that includes prevention, preparedness, and a coordinated response from firefighters, emergency personnel, and residents. Evacuation is often the most effective way to protect lives during a wildfire. If you live in an area prone to wildfires, have an evacuation plan in place and be prepared to leave your home with little notice if local authorities issue an evacuation order. Here are some essential steps to take. First, be prepared. Create a wildfire action plan that includes evacuation routes, a communication plan with family members, and a designated meeting place. Next, create defensible space. Clear vegetation and flammable materials within 100 feet of your home to create a buffer zone that can help slow or stop the spread of fire. Also, listen for warnings. Pay attention to local news, weather reports, and emergency alerts for information about wildfire activity and evacuation orders. And evacuate early. If an evacuation order is issued, leave immediately. Don't wait until the last minute, as roads can become congested and escape routes can be cut off quickly. Lastly, follow instructions. Follow the instructions of local authorities and emergency personnel. They are there to help you stay safe. They are there to help. And so, we've journeyed together through a catalog of nature's fury, from the swirling maw of hurricanes to the silent creep of sinkholes, from the earth-shuddering power of earthquakes to the fiery breath of volcanoes. We've witnessed the destructive force of these events, the awe-inspiring power of nature unleashed. But amidst the devastation, there's a profound truth we must acknowledge. These events, as catastrophic as they may seem, are not inherently malevolent. They are part of a grand, unending cycle, a testament to the dynamic forces that have shaped our planet for millennia. Earthquakes, for instance, though capable of leveling cities, are also the architects of our mountains and valleys. Volcanoes, while spewing fiery destruction, also enrich our soils with fertile volcanic ash. Even floods, often viewed as harbingers of chaos, replenish our rivers and nourish our farmlands. It's a cycle of creation and destruction, a reminder that nothing in nature is static, that change is the only constant. And within this cycle, we as humans must find our place, not as conquerors of nature, but as respectful inhabitants, adapting to its rhythms, learning from its fury, and building resilience in the face of its power. As we've explored these natural disasters, we've encountered humbling reminders of our own vulnerability. For all our technological advancements, for all our ingenuity, we are still at the mercy of forces far greater than ourselves. A hurricane can wipe away a city in a single night. An earthquake can reshape a landscape in a matter of minutes. A volcano can shroud an entire continent in ash. These events force us to confront the limits of our control, to acknowledge that we are not masters of this planet, but merely tenants, sharing this space with a myriad of other life forms, all subject to the same natural laws. This realization, though humbling, is not a cause for despair, but rather a call to action. It's a reminder to approach our relationship with nature with respect and humility, to recognize that we are part of an intricate web of life, our fate intertwined with the health and well-being of our planet. It's a call to tread lightly, to minimize our impact on the environment, and to build more sustainable and resilient communities that can withstand the inevitable challenges that nature throws our way. Throughout our exploration of these natural disasters, one theme has emerged as a beacon of hope: preparedness. While we cannot control the fury of nature, we can certainly take steps to mitigate its impact, to protect ourselves, our loved ones, and our communities. Preparedness is not about living in fear, but about empowering ourselves with knowledge, resources, and a plan of action. It's about understanding the risks specific to our region, knowing the warning signs of impending disasters, and having emergency kits readily available. It's about having a communication plan with family members, knowing evacuation routes, and practicing emergency drills. It's about securing our homes, reinforcing structures, and taking steps to minimize potential damage. Preparedness is an ongoing process, a commitment to staying informed, adapting to changing conditions, and being ready to respond effectively when disaster strikes. It's about taking responsibility for our own safety and the well-being of our communities. As we conclude our journey through these 100 epic storms and natural disasters, it's crucial to remember that the responsibility for preparedness and resilience rests not only on individuals, but also on communities, governments, and global organizations. We need to invest in early warning systems, strengthen infrastructure, and develop sustainable land management practices. We need to support scientific research, promote environmental education, and foster international cooperation to address the global challenges posed by climate change and its impact on natural disasters. The task may seem daunting, but by working together, by sharing knowledge, resources, and a common vision for a safer and more resilient future, we can weather the storms ahead and create a world where humanity and nature coexist in harmony, where the awe-inspiring power of our planet is met with an equally powerful spirit of preparedness, resilience, and responsibility.